We have a remarkable update on a story we've been following here about a man who spent more than 40 years behind bars for a crime he didn't commit. Kevin Strickland was finally released from prison yesterday after a judge overturned his conviction. In May, the Jackson County, Missouri prosecutor declared Strickland innocent. Erin Moriarty has followed this case so closely. Erin, this has got to be good news to you.
Well, it is, but it comes really late. Let me put things in perspective. Kevin Strickland was 19 when he was arrested. Jimmy Carter was president. Gas was 63 cents a gallon. That means a lot right now. He's now 62 and uses a wheelchair. It was warm and sunny when 62-year-old Kevin Strickland emerged from a Missouri prison a free man, the first time in more than 4 decades.
I just couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Yesterday, Missouri Judge James Welch set aside his conviction and ordered his immediate release.
It took him no time to see that there was no evidence that said I had anything to do with this crime before, during, or after.
Strickland has been incarcerated since 1978 when he was arrested and convicted of a triple homicide in Kansas City in April of that year. There was no physical evidence tying him to the murders, but the only survivor, Cynthia Douglas, identified him. Strickland remained in prison even after one of the actual shooters, Vincent Bell, testified under oath that Strickland wasn't there. And Douglas, realizing she had sent the wrong man to prison, recanted. At a hearing earlier this month, Douglas's sister testified the toll it took on her. Douglas died in 2015.
I'd just like to tell her thank you for that, trying to get that done. No hard feelings.
Judge Welch wrote, absent Douglas's positive, unequivocal identification of Strickland, there would have been no charge, no trial, and certainly no conviction.
Thankful for God walking me through this for 43 years, protecting me. He let me get a little scuffed up along the way. I guess those were learning lessons, learning lumps.
Although Strickland has been officially exonerated, current law does not provide any compensation for all he's lost. I spoke with Strickland last month.
Letting me out the door still doesn't make the 43 go away. My whole life is a memory of prison.
I should add that all 4 of the real shooters have been identified and none are currently serving time for the murders. The Attorney General issued a statement yesterday saying the court has spoken and he will take no further action in Strickland's case. I mean, I'm happy for him, but I really want to make a point of just what he lost. 2/3 of his life behind bars for something he didn't do.
And we hear this over and over again. It just seems as though innocence on these appeals doesn't make a difference.
It really doesn't. In Missouri, innocence isn't what matters. It's whether the judge made a mistake at your trial. And if you can't prove that, you can stay in. And also, if you're not on death row, you're not entitled to a lawyer. So Kevin had to file all of these appeals on his own, pro se. And, of course, they didn't pay a lot of attention to him.
Go ahead. Now, I know compensation for the wrongfully convicted varies state to state, but why doesn't he get any compensation?
Well, in Missouri, only if you've been freed from prison because of DNA. If you've been exonerated because of DNA, do you get money? He is not even entitled to Social Security. And if he had been guilty and let out on parole, he would have had a parole officer to help him find a job. He gets nothing coming out.
So what happens to Kevin Strickland now? He's out in a world that he doesn't recognize 40 years after he went in. How does he
in a
find his
wheelchair.
way? Yeah, in a wheelchair.
Well, what's important is the Midwest Innocence Project is starting to GoFundMe. I think there is going to be an effort to try to raise some money for him. He's going to go live with his younger brother. He does need to find a life.
He has a 7-year-old daughter.
Well,
I'm sorry, had a
43.
43
7
was
weeks
7
old when he went in.
Weeks old.
She's 43 now.
Wow.
How he has handled this, man of strength and character, that's for sure.
He's got a lot of grace. He's quite the character. He is.
That's right. Free at last. All right, Erin, thank you so much.